Any excursions you would go on? Did you travel at all, or?
Not much.
It's just Anaheim. Tell me about living there. It seems like a lot of your life was kind of this Anaheim.
It was a slower time. Much slower. And I don't know. It's just kind of normal neighborhood. I lived right down the street from Disneyland's.
Yeah. Did you get to go often, or?
When I got older, I did.
Yeah. I heard a lot of people who live there tend to not really, they don't really go there.
No, not really. Until the annual passes came out, then it seemed like everybody had them.
Everyone was it was time to go. Did you ever, after kind of high school, did you ever go to college, or did you ever, what was kind of like the game plan there?
After high school, I went in the U.S. Air Force.
You joined the Army, the Air Force. So I'm curious, your brother is older or younger, excuse me?
He's older. He was older,
okay.
7 years older.
Okay. And him going to the Army, did that inspire you, or was it more just like you were trying to take your own path? Like, what was the Air Force decision?
It was my own decision. I was trying to find my own path. I wasn't ready for college yet. And so I went in, and it was a good experience.
I see you repping the Air Force hat.
Yeah, well, I'm a disabled vet. I'm 100% disabled. I worked in the supply squadron, and I really messed myself up.
Tell me the experience there. How long were you in?
I was only in for 2 years. Because of my injuries, they couldn't discharge me fast enough. And just threw it at me and said, you have 24 hours to get off base. And I'm going, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Hey, I'll move on.
But I was stationed in this little place called Minot, North Dakota.
Yep, I've heard of Minot. I have some friends who went out there. There's nothing out there. There's literally nothing. There's nothing out there.
You drive through the state, it is completely flat.
Yeah, it's a whole different.
You can get hypnotized if you're not careful. But in a way, it's beautiful, especially during harvest time when all that wheat and corn and everything is ready to harvest. It's really beautiful.
It's kind of like understanding kind of the nature side of things as well. Get your first. It seems like the first real experience of going to a different state. Was that cool? Was that like a exciting venture?
Yeah, okay. It was really exciting. In fact, my first plane flight was going from L.A. to Texas for basic training.
And your personality after choir, you said you were shy and reserved when you were a kid. Is that now? Do you feel like the military took that out? Now you're in a different space, or where you kind of?
It brought me out, but I was still pretty well reserved.
Okay. And I think that comes a lot more from, it seems like your father, as he's very to the book, composed, and the type of person. Yeah. So
he was a diplomat. He could tell you you're full of, and make it sound like a compliment. He really was. Yeah. He was one heck of a guy. He really was.
And so how was he feeling about you joining the service?
He was all for it. He didn't think anything bad about it.
Okay, good.
And when I got out, I came back home, lived at home, and I couldn't wait to get back to school.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, yeah.
And what was your sights on? Degree-wise, yeah.
Computers.
Computers.
Love playing with computers.
So,
and this was back in.
This is not modern day computers.
78. Yeah, I was still programming using punch cards.
Yo.
Yeah.
So, what did just like junior or sorry, was this like
it was a junior college as it was called back then.
Okay. Yeah.
I went to Fullerton JC.
Okay.
Got my associate's degree.
And I don't know your relationship with school throughout this time. Have you always kind of been in the books, kind of loving the learning aspect of things, or were you more of like, I just rather just do other things? What was your kind of?
I was pretty involved with it. Not so much in high school because of the things that happened to me and the things that were going on. And I didn't realize, but I'm dyslexic, and I did not know that at the time. And I thought there was something really wrong with me.
Couldn't figure out how to stay in the books, but it seems like college is where you kind of really figured that out.
Yeah, it is. Well, actually, in the Air Force is when I figured it out.
Because you do have to test in the Air Force.
Yeah. But college is where I really enjoyed it.
And again, sorry, the study was one more time? Computers, right?
Computer programming.
Programming.
Yeah.
And were you able to kind of use it at this time? Were you able to kind of find?
Oh, absolutely. When I graduated with my AA in business data processing,
Okay.
is what they call it. Went to work for McDonnell Douglas, and I was there for almost 10 years. And then peace broke out, and I was laid off.
So McDonnell Douglas, is that that's a firm, right?
Yeah, that's aerospace.
Okay. So this is like a pretty big deal, I imagine, at this time for you.
For me, yeah.
10 years was a while. I mean, at this, what, you're probably 20, right? When you entered, right?
Around there, 2021.
2021. And, yeah, and this is, obviously you're a shy and reserved person, working at an aerospace, that
Well,
seems like
I figured computers would be the way to go because I could do my own thing. People would leave me alone and all of this. I mean, you have to be
I'm trying, Mr. Burke. I'm trying to get you out of your shell.
It's coming.
No, but it's cool. I mean, it's fascinating to see you. Like you're. It seems like you kind of know who you are. Like you're not trying to be anyone else. You're just like, hey, look, I'm gonna take it one step at a time.
Exactly.
And just kind of just live. Any passions still music, or any passions during this time going through work now? You're a working man.
Well, music was still a good major part of my life. More listening than anything else.
Sure.
Because it was my release.
You mentioned that you love gaming. Like I don't know what the modern day computer gaming looks like at that time, but computers, I guess, per se.
Oh, we're talking 8-bit Atari 2600.
I mean, the arcades must have been popping though. Like the arcades was
8-bit arcades, yeah, I'm doing Pac-Man and
Yeah.
all of those. But they didn't really fulfill me.
So what was it? What was it was just kind of just working.
Just working and playing on my computers.
This is so interesting. And so as you're going through journey of work, right? What is your relationships with other people? Now making new friends, or is it just
More like acquaintances. I had work relationships, but no real personal relationships.
there's you're still kind of like, seems like at this time, I don't want to say having a hard time, because it doesn't seem like you're seeking for it. It just seems like it's not a priority in terms of like at this moment.
I wanted to go out with
Okay.
dating and everything, but it just wasn't working out.
And is that during the time of this these kind of 10 years? Any stories of like cool projects you were able to work on, or
Well, there is, but I can't talk about them because they're classified.
Got it. Copy that.
I had a top secret clearance and a lot of things I still can't talk about.
Sure, makes sense. So you said you left there, and
No, they left me.
oh, excuse me. The peacetime came.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing now?
I'm retired now.
Well, I mean, at that
After
time.
that,
Yeah. Mhm.
okay, I went to what was then Pactel Cellular, now
Cellular.
AT&T,
Oh, yo.
and I worked in their data center to ensure that all of the billing was going through. And it was a challenging time because I had a manager that was a bully. That was my first exposure to workplace bullying. And this guy was a piece of cake because he would micromanage. He would call in the morning wanting status and everything else. And, I'm the type that the more you lean on me, the more mistakes I make. And then the more mistakes I make, the more he would lean on me. And that lasted for about 3 years, and I finally left.
Yeah, I
I
just
just couldn't take it.
The experience of managers, especially, right? I imagine that's something very different, because 10 years working it's not like you don't know what you're doing. I mean, classified information, and you're working with on top secret clearance, your big projects here. Transitioning into now like private, right? Because this is not.
It was difficult. It was really
I imagine
difficult.
that's a much different change from what you're normally.
And it was a toxic work environment in itself because everybody was out for themselves. And if they could find a way to make you look bad so they look good, they would do it.
This is
and I wasn't prepared for that.
yeah. You're in your 30s. Your 20s was looking great.
Yeah, and then the 30s things got really messed up. It was crazy.
Yeah, imagine that things have changed. Was it just kind of just floating around trying to find a home at this point, like in terms of work?
Sort of, yeah, sort of. Once I left Pactel Cellular, thank God, I went to work for Orange County Superior Court.
Oh, that's
and I
cool.
was there for almost 15 years.
You
A
don't
little over 50.
you're not like in modern day things now as people hop from one position over like a year, maybe a few months, then
Yeah.
another position for a year, a few months. Like you stuck it out, 10 years here, 3 years here, 15 years here. Like you really are investing in making sure you be the best worker possible.
Oh, absolutely.
What is that? Imagine working for the courts. You must see a lot of different characters.
Oh, it was interesting. Let me tell you. There was who was it? Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. Back then, he was on trial. I don't know how many people he killed, but he was at the Orange County Court. I sat in the chair that he sat in, and that was a creepy feeling.
Yeah.
Really creepy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about his the Night Stalker, but this is probably in the 80s, 90s, right?
Late 80s, early
Yeah.
90s, if I remember right.
And this is a different time as well, especially in still living in California.
Mm-hmm.
Is the kind of like I don't know if you're I don't know what your type of social political views were at this time, going through the 80s into the 90s. Do you feel like you were really involved into the kind of like government side of things now being in the courts, or do you feel like you were still just kind of plugging away, going day by day?
Just plugging away day by day. I had no interest in getting involved in the politics or anything there. Had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
And what was fun about it?
And just the different things that were going on. I wound up becoming a network analyst. So I was running this huge, or helping run this huge large area network and keeping it running and making sure everybody's happy, making sure all the judges have what they need, and responding to any issues that they may have. So it always kept me hopping. I was always busy, always doing something.
Always have something to do.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes lives are better simple.
Mm-hmm.
More people complicate things and add things to it, It becomes this.
Oh,
really
absolutely.
big
There was a time where I hated people. I didn't want to be around anybody because of the things that happened to me, the backstabbing and everything else in the workplace. It just, no.
Seems like government was definitely the best spot for you.
It was, and then that started going downhill because the manager I had, he was a workplace bully. He was not a manager. He was more a politician. And it was basically our job to make him look good.
So your job is to make him look good.
Yeah,
Jeez.
exactly. And I thought, oh boy, do I have a winner here.
Yeah.
So I was there over 15 years. I said, I've had it. I'm done.
Yeah.
And it was right near at the what they call the economic downturn.
This was 2000. No, this is .com bubble type of thing. This is 2000, right?
Around 08, 09.
2008, yeah.
When everything started going downhill. The people were losing their houses and